whether Trump was like having sex with those underage girls or not, which I don't know if we're ever going to know the truth of that. I suspect it's something that happened from time to time. I don't think it was like a regular thing like Epstein 3 times a day. No doubt he was like out of control. Okay. But Trump is like whatever trafficking ring existed, whatever network of models and Eastern European girls and girls from Epstein and girls being pilfered out of Mar-a-Lago and the princes and business leaders and executives and politicians who were engaging in this, Trump was in the center of the people who were doing it, and he knew everybody who was doing it. He knew how they were doing it. He knew what they were doing, and he was definitely privy, right, on the inside of that, whether even if he wasn't doing it himself, okay? Even if he wasn't doing it himself, he probably was profiting off of it for sure, but he was like not separate from it. There was none of that was going on with a blind eye. And that I think is enough to sink him like permanently, and I think he knows that. I think he knows that. And what's more, I think it could get him killed too.
I had a conversation yesterday with someone who speaks to Trump often, and this person had spoken to Trump in the last 48 hours. In this conversation that he had within the last several days, he said to this person, "People say I had Epstein killed. I didn't have Epstein killed." Trump.
See, that's a big one, dude. Like the fact that he's like coming to terms with the situation has found himself in, you know?
Said. And then this person said, "Well, do you think that he was killed?" And Trump replied, "A lot of people wanted him dead." And certainly in the case of Trump, Epstein could fill in a whole part of the Trump background. Those early days, Trump's early days in the real estate business, in New York. And the real estate business in New York is filled with, matter of fact, I don't know how you can be in the real estate business without having direct connections to organized crime.
To the mob, yeah. There's no way. The real estate business in New York City was like, all of that had to do with the mafia. All of it did. In the 70s, like, man, the 80s, like, are you kidding me, bro? And then building a casino? Like, dude, come on. There's no fucking way you build a fucking casino in New Jersey without the mob. There's no way, dude.
Certainly that was one of the things that Epstein talked about. There are years in which the two of these guys were pursuing models.
Dude, this fucking picture is so funny. Dude, the picture is so funny, bro. Trump is like,
models. Doing whatever they could to get these women. This period in Trump's life when there have been accusations after accusations by a whole lineup of women, and then this was the period in Trump's life of his bankruptcies, and Epstein had an interesting view on this because Trump was forgiven personal loans that he had guaranteed personally of about $1 billion. Now, when you're forgiven personal loans, that immediately becomes income. And Epstein would talk about his involvement with Trump in hiding this money from the IRS.
Interesting.
What did Epstein know about Trump? That's a foundational question here.
See, yeah, that too is this goes back to that real estate deal in Florida too. Remember where Epstein was going to buy that $36 million big beachfront property, and Trump went behind his back and bought it for $40 million without his money because Epstein knew Trump didn't have any money, and he finds out it was with the Russian money, and then the same guy who gave him money for it buys it from Trump 2 years later for like 2.5 times that, or right? And he was like, holy shit, what is going on? Like, I think Epstein had a lot of knowledge about the ins and outs of Donald Trump's finances that most people did not have.
And I've spent a lot of time thinking about the ways in which Epstein was a clear threat to Trump, and especially after he became the president of the United States. But I think it's also important to think about what kind of threat Trump was to Epstein. I know at one point when Epstein would show me these pictures of Trump, again, it was I would describe these before, but a set of about a dozen Polaroid pictures, 3 of which I specifically remember. 2 with different girls sitting on Trump's lap, topless, and then a 3rd with a telltale stain on the front of Trump's pants, with
Wonder what
4
that
or 5
was.
girls
Trumpy!
pointing at this.
Oh, Trumpy, the stain!
Girls pointing at him and laughing. And I urged Epstein. I said, you should release these pictures. I mean, if for no other reason, and Epstein was already in trouble and already a figure which people were. He was already demonized. I said, maybe this will even help you. You can be on the side of right here. And I remember Epstein said, again, chilling at the time, he said, I may be a pervert, but I'm not crazy. And then he said, Trump is a man without any scruples. Chill went up my back then. And I think this brings us to August 10th, 2019, in that jail cell. And obviously all of the questions about what happened that morning are involved with why this story keeps going. And the question, I think that the largest question hovers over that is what did Donald Trump know about what happened that night?
Yeah, I'm just curious, guys. I'm so curious because I want to know, like, what is in there? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is in those files that has everybody, like, they have, like, turned tail. They have. You know what I'm saying? The people, the Republican Party, they were so gung-ho, and now they adjourned Congress early. They're, like, trying to fight this thing. They don't even want to talk about it. They get asked about it, and they, like, yeah, something in there is, like, extraordinarily damning, because if it was just a bunch of shit about Bill Clinton and a bunch of Hollywood figures, bro, they would put that shit out there in 2 seconds. Okay? They would have no problem. You know what I mean? They would have no problem, even if it was, like, not damning. If it was anything that could kind of look like maybe Bill Clinton was guilty. But there is some shit that had to have like shake them to the core, you know? And I believe it's going to come out too. I believe, guys, I'm reading this book by Sarah Ransom right now. She's one of them. I believe, here's what I believe, guys. I believe that we're hitting an apex of victim determination. Okay, the victims have watched while Barry Krischer and 𝗙𝗪𝗓 sank the original prosecution. They watched everybody. Jeffrey went right back to the same behavior, right back to the island. Literally, immunity. They got fucked. Okay, then these Miami Herald reporters rejuvenated this thing, and they brought it back through a series of hard-hitting articles and exposés in a book. And then he gets arrested, and then they're finally going to get his day in court, and then he gets fucking offed, okay? And it goes away again. And then Trump wins again, vowing to release the files, and then he's like saying it's bullshit, it's a hoax. Now they're talking about a pardon with Ghislaine Maxwell and shit. And I think the victims are fucking furious, bro. And they realize that it's kind of like now or never, that now they can put all their chips in and try to light this thing and detonate this stick of dynamite. And if they don't, they're never going to get another chance. Like, this is it. It is like the last chance for the victims to actually have some type of effective change, you know? Some type of, like, resolution. What is up, guys? Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, you want to support independent resistance media, you know what to do. Drop that sub, hit the like button, and please share it. And we do love our members, so if you want to become a member, it's another really great way to support. Thanks again for everything, guys. I'll see you next time. Let's go.